Take a mic to the far end down here. Hang on. Take a mic to the far end.
I was curious on what the gentleman's thoughts were on the border as far as reinforcing it, or you were talking about how families were being separated, and what was your thought on that, on how to fix that situation?
Well, I believe that situation should be figured out diplomatically.
Can we get a mic to this gentleman up here?
I believe that situation should be dealt with diplomatically through legislature, not through military intervention, because especially putting it up to the states, our state for one, Governor Abbott, is clearly very anti-immigrant, illegal or legal, and making it harder for people to get legal citizenship only causes more people to come in illegally. And there has been pretty detailed instructions from the Biden administration trying to fix this problem, but it has been vetoed at the Supreme Court level because of Trump's administration. He put those people in power to veto democratic and more progressive options but instead he's just trying to say, okay, we'll have the military do mass deportations. And when you do stuff like that, historically speaking, that is dangerous for
You probably feel like maybe, possibly, that it's for their own protection as well. Not just ours, but for theirs as well.
How so?
So a lot of times when they come over here and they're illegal, when he said that a lot of people aren't being mules, he did make that comment. It's not so common anymore. It actually is, and he wouldn't know because they're crossing illegally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was incorrect, and most people that would say that are incorrect because we don't know, right?
Sure.
And a lot of times, it's not only sex trafficking. These kids are being, within my community, and I am Hispanic, there's a lot of organs being sold. There's a lot of children being sold to get impregnated and then using the stem cells. There's all kinds of situations going on, and it's not being
No, and I know there is definitely people.
But what I'm saying is that our military, which I am a vet, and that just says that we do have duties to do a lot of times,
Sure.
and a lot of times we do question it, but we know that there's a lot of thought put into some of those situations, right? So by us enforcing our wall and keeping them away, we're actually saving them. We're actually helping them, and we're helping ourselves as well, because I'll tell you what, majority of the people that are crossing over, it's not for good reasons. Majority.
I would highly disagree with that, but sure.
And that's fine.
The
I have
people who
family
want
that work on the border, and I go to Mexico enough to know that these are facts.
I got pictures on my phone where there's people.
Can you get the mic from the gentleman in front of you? Say your name.
I got pictures on my phone
What's your name?
with Pablo,
Paulo?
with people in Eagle Pass when we crossed over. People from one side of the train all the way to the top, they stop, they run out. I got a picture of a lady carrying a baby underneath the rail car.
I've seen multiple things like that all over the place.
That's not on the news. That's what me and my wife have seen when we were in Eagle Pass.
I didn't know.
You're actually saving them. One of my cousins, he found an arm where he was underneath the rail car. He checks the rail cars. There was an arm under there where somebody fell off.
Yeah.
My dad lives in Mexico. We fed an immigrant there.
Push the mic up a little bit.
Oh, we fed an immigrant over there because my dad lives in Mexico. We fed him, and he lost his wife 3 days ago on the train, or at that time. This was right before Christmas. So when you're over there and you see that, it's bad. It's bad. You can't. It's rough if you see.
Correct. Sure.
A lot of times people speak on this because what they see on what they're reading here and there. But if you're actually there in Mexico and you notice that there's a bunch of police officers, there's trailers with humans in it, and the driver will actually leave because he got scared or whatever the case may be. There's dead bodies in there after a couple of days, children, women, and why? Well, because they did it the wrong way. And so it's for their own safety. Now, if we were to enforce this wall, right, we could cut out all kinds of problems. Not even helping themselves, but helping ourselves as far as the country goes. Because we're paying for this, and that, Now we got to worry about our children. Now we got to worry about drugs. You know, that fentanyl thing, it's a big thing, and it's coming from over there. I lost my brother last year, and he was young, 25 years old. And of course, we make decisions, right? You know, everybody makes their own decisions. But if we could prevent a lot of these things from happening, why not?
I agree with that. I'm not trying. I was not at any point trying to say that I believe in a fully open border. Theoretically, absolutely, I would, because it's ridiculous that we would consider any human illegal.
And that's where the military comes in.
I don't think leaving it up to the military is a very good idea.
Have you been to the border?
I've been to El Paso quite a bit. I haven't been to the border or to Mexico myself, but I spent quite a lot of time in El
I hope
Paso
you
on
took
the
what
border.
you learned today, wherever you go, and maybe you can enlighten someone else.
What's that?
I hope what you took today,
yeah,
what
yeah.
you learned today.
Sure, no.
You can enlighten other people that there's different views, and the view from over there is a lot more intense.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I again, don't think that it should be a fully open border. I think there should be regulations to it, and I think that there should also be a lot better ways for people to be able to frequently come here legally instead of having to wait. What's that?
I was thinking the same
There is,
thing.
absolutely.
I went through the process and I did everything. I went through the legal process.
That's great. I'm
I said
glad.
to the United States Air Force, there is a way to come here legally.
There is,
And
yes.
do things legally. So there's no reason why they should be doing that and why the Biden administration should be allowing that to happen.
Well, they're not allowing it to happen
They are allowing
any
it.
more than any other would have.
They are allowing it. It doesn't matter that the Democrats sit there and gaslight us every single time, and some people are foolish enough to believe it. There are legal and there are ways to do
Absolutely.
things legally and right in this country if you want to.
Yes.
If you want to. I came here and I did it the legal way, the right way. There's a way.
Then you know how hard it is.
It's hard,
How
but
long-
I'm not carrying my kids across the border.
My mom spent 5 years trying to get her green card. She's been here for 50 years. She had to renew her green card. She couldn't go back to Mexico for 5 years. She couldn't visit her family because if she did, she wouldn't have been able to come back. Because it's so hard. It takes so long for people to be able to do
possible.
that. It
It's
is.
possible.
It absolutely
It's
is. But
possible.
it takes
Everybody
a
doesn't
long
have
time.
everything handed to them.
Not
I'm
everybody
sorry.
has
I'm
the
sorry.
time.
Everybody doesn't have
Not
everything
everybody
handed
has
to
the
them.
time to be able to do something like that.
I served in the military to get my citizenship. Did she do that?
My
Did
mother
she do
came when
that?
she was 4
Did
years
the person
old.
who went back to Mexico and needed that, did they do that? Because they handed that citizenship to me because of my service.
Why would you put your children and yourself in that situation where there's an opportunity where y'all going to get separated? Why would you do that? That's your responsibility when you're in that situation.
There are consequences for breaking the law.
Okay, what else? Anything that didn't come up that you wish they would? Because listen, they'll be watching this. Yes, ma'am. Just hand her that mic if you would.
I would have liked to hear some things about equality. I don't think we're talking enough about the problems that we have created in our country over race, LGBTQ issues, intersectionality, where those things kind of cross into each other. Because we've been so polarized, I think we're having a hard time coming together again. And I think we see that in Congress. I really want to see someone bring people together and solve problems, at least after the election's over. And I'm worried about our future of our country because I don't think we know how to do that anymore.
Well, I will weigh in on something that I haven't weighed in on so far. And that is, I don't think we're nearly as polarized as the media would make us believe we are. Anytime I sit down to talk to or negotiate with someone or teach negotiation, one of the first things that I always do is say, let's focus on what we agree on first. We have time for our differences, but let's talk about what we agree on first. And I think the media, because it sells if you have conflict, it sells if you have people making sparks, it sells if you have people throwing out sound bites that are easily repeatable. It doesn't sell so much if you conduct yourself like these two candidates did tonight. I think they were civil to each other. They disagreed on some things, but they said, hey, I agree with this. I agree with that. And so I felt like it was good to see that. And I hope that's an example. And maybe we'll kind of take that as a cue, because I don't think we're near as divided as the media would like us to believe.